Dog's loving it.
Yeah. Hey, my name's Dan. This is Frank.
Nice to meet you.
We're here today. We're gonna boil his skull off on his bear. I've done a bunch of different deer, but I've never done a bear. This one, he actually did him a big favor because he's got a bad case of mange. But we'll show you the equipment. We're gonna show you the bear. I'm gonna skin the head off in a few minutes here, and we'll try to walk you through this process. I'll save you all of the really boring, redundant stuff, and we'll see what we can do from there. So let me show you some of the equipment. So here's the essential equipment. We got a turkey fryer, beer, razor knife, X-Acto knife. We got the detergent. Here's our bear right there. He's got a bad case of mange. We actually did him a favor. Frank did him a favor, shooting him. Rubber gloves. I'm gonna get the head skinned off. We're also the mount we're gonna make. We're gonna use the claws in it. Hopefully that works. That's a nasty old boy right there. So we're gonna do him a big favor, getting them all shined up and on a nice black.
I had his jaw down the whole entire time.
All right, here we are. It's 3 o'clock. This thing's been boiling for about 2 hours. Now I saw a video of the guy was doing hogs and he left a nose on them. I guess it's easier to pull the septum out. This is the first time I've used the laundry soap. I don't know if it matters. I just used what we had downstairs. You can see the skull. The meat's gelling up real nice coming off the skull. Left the bottom jaw attached. Probably not going to pull that off for a while yet. Eyes are coming out real nice. The reason you leave the nose attached is you can pull that septum and everything straight out. We'll see how well that works. I might actually run some film on that when it's time. Other than that, everything's going good. Drinking our beer, watching the Steeler game, and getting excited about the rest of this process.
All right, so it's on.
All right, we're gonna see about pulling this nose out and get a little bit more of this in here. So, like I said, the video said that you can pull the septum and everything out with that. And there it is. Pretty good advice. I'm gonna do that with all the deer heads from now on too. This is the first non-deer skull that I did, and these bears are just greasy as could be.
A little bit of splatter factor.
Yeah, that's not good. You can smell the laundry detergent in here. So, anyway, we're gonna shut this off and try to get some of this apart. I'm not gonna bore you with all of this stuff right here. So, we'll catch you in a minute.
All right, press end.
Yep.
Okay, well, this is Dan pressure washing the skull, cleaning it up before bleaching. See, it just blows off all the excess meat and stuff. Should I end it?
All right, good morning. We're right back at it. Last night I jumped the gun on taking this skull to the car wash. I got down there and it just wasn't ready. A bear skull is way, way heavier than a deer skull, and the meat and the connective tissue, all this fat and gelatin, the cartilage that you see around the rim of this, just wasn't ready to come off. So what I did is I brought it back home, brand new water, new detergent, brought it up to a rolling boil, and just shut it off and let it sit for the rest of the night. I just got back from the car wash, and it just came right off. It was really good. So I'm going to go ahead and start the whitening process. What I wanted to show you is all of this grease in here, okay? Before you do your final whitening, and I do mine different than just about everybody, you got to get this all scrubbed out of the pot. So good hot water, Brillo pad. I'm not going to bore you with shining the pot up, but I will come back for the whitening part. Okay, while the pot of water is heating up, I figured I'd come in and show you what I do as far as the whitening is I use baking soda. The reason is it doesn't affect the rack when you have the, if you use peroxide, it'll bleach the rack. The baking soda does nothing to the rack, but the exposed bone, it cleans it up really well. Another thing that I want to caution you about is do not use chlorine bleach, because all that's going to do, that's going to burn that bone. It'll look nice for a couple days, couple weeks, and eventually it'll yellow up. It's just too strong for it. Baking soda works good. If you got a closet you keep your hunting stuff in, you should have a couple extra boxes laying around all the time. We'll go back out to the pot. I'll show you that in a few minutes. Alright, I let this boil for about 20 more minutes. One thing you want to watch out for, I don't know if you can see this joint right there, starting to boil the cartilage out of the joint, and at that point the skull starts getting real loose on you. So I decided that would be a good time to stop the boiling. Did lose this tooth right there, it's in the bottom of the pot. I'll go fish for it later on. And like I said, once this is dry, you know, a lot of the white that you see will start to really come out. And anything that needs touched up, you can just make a paste with your baking soda and scrub that in. One of the things I do, I always pull all these bones out of the nose. I just don't like them. Do it on the deer too. There's no way to get them all unless you got those beetles, and I'm just not going to do that. Alright, a week later, I'm back at it. This is Sunday. Let the skull dry, and there's just so much grease in it. You can see right here in these frontal sinuses in the back. If you look along the jawline, I don't know if you can make that out. So this thing's going to have to be reboiled, and I'm going to go ahead and do the peroxide bleach like you use for hair. I see a lot of guys in the videos do that. With a deer skull, it's just not necessary. The bone's not that thick, and it bleaches out pretty good. The bear claws, I'm having some luck pulling them apart. It's really tough, slow going. I watched the video of the guy that did it. He makes it look so easy. I think one of the mistakes that I made was I took this little umbrella skin around the outside down, and there's nothing to really pry on. So I have my makeshift sander here. Here's my my speed control. I know this is like an ocean nightmare, but this drill's kind of old, and you can stall it just by using your hand. There's no fear of getting wrapped up in it. Plus, I have it going pretty slow. So, I'm going to see if I can save these nails. If not, maybe I'll just bleach out the bone and put those on the plaque. So, just keeping you up to date. Okay, here we are. We got our bear claws, and they're all stripped. This was a diseased animal. And the nails just were not in good shape. They were real thin, real brittle, and I had one heck of a time getting these stripped off the bone. The guy that I'm doing this for, Frank, he's very adamant about making these claws part of the mount. So I'm going to go ahead and do my best to save as many of these as I can. Here's the bones. What I did was I just numbered them, and I'm going to reinforce that with a Sharpie. Hopefully that doesn't wash out while I'm boiling them, and I'll be able to get the bones back in the right claw sockets. Okay, we're 8 days later after we initially boiled this. Now this has been boiled 3 times, bleached with baking soda. As you can see, there's a lot of grease that's still coming out of here. Bottom jaw as well. Anywhere that there's any kind of marrow, it's coming out. So this time I'm just using palm olive, whatever's on hand. I figured if it'll cut grease in dishes, it'll cut them off with bare bones. I've got a couple different pots going. I'm going to try to keep the claws separate. Wife's going to have a bird. We're under contract not to boil any critter parts in the house, but it's kind of cold and she's not home, and I'm just not going outside today. Alright, we're rolling. Here I am with my technical consultant. This is my sister Sherry. She's going to help me with the actual chemical part of the bleach. So, all you.
Alrighty, we're going to use hair bleach. We're going to use the Matrix V-Lights, equal parts with 40 volume SoColor Developer. We're using the cream developer. It'll give us a thicker consistency, easier to spread on the skull.
Okay, we're back at the bear project. I'm doing the nails today. Got the bones all bleached. They turned out really well. Love that. But you can see the nails, since they've dried and prying them away from the bone and all the tissue, the connective tissue that's not there anymore. There's a lot of room there. So the problem I have is if I squeeze that down, is the glue going to hold? And the nails are still kind of brittle. So the solution that I came up with was I'm just throwing them in some hot water here for about 5 minutes and let them steam off. They're nice and pliable. You need to get the Gorilla Glue wet anyway. So I'm taking them out of that and getting them clamped up, you know, with my very sophisticated bear claw clamps that's under development there. And they seem to be working pretty well. So we'll let you know at the end of the process how that all turned out. Okay, here's Frank's bear on the day of delivery. I just wanted to let you guys know that this was a legally taken bear in Pennsylvania. Got the claws all done, got the plaque done. Used a lot of silicone caulking for adhesive. That's what I backfilled the claws with. That's what I glued the jaw shut with. None of that's set on there. That's all. I just put that on a few minutes ago. It's just sticking. But I got the plaque on, got the claws glued, and I couldn't decide on how to attach the skull. I figured that the claws eventually would deteriorate, so you'd want to have something to salvage. So you could just hang this on the wall if you wanted to. Also for moving this around and storing it. Glued the jaw shut with the silicone caulking, just glued the teeth and back here where the temporomandibular joint is. And pretty happy with it all in all. Here's the disclaimer. Don't think that this is instructions. This is just simply how I did it. Don't assume that any of the things that I did were safe. All water is hot, you know, the McDonald's clause. If you don't understand a chemical, get an expert to help you. And good luck with your project. Okay, Frank's Bear, I'm out.